Guys, August 15th was a red day for me today. Not a big red day, but I was shaken out of some of my longs this morning. The market was very, very weak early in the morning. We were down about 300 points early on. And that weakness, I think, really held back a couple of my long plays from the morning. I was long CGC, Canopy Growth, marijuana company, got a $4 billion investment from Constellation Brands, big alcohol company, increasing their stake in the company. So that sent some of the marijuana stocks higher. I was playing CGC, and PETQ gapped up to all-time highs after an earnings beat. So I was looking to go long those two mid caps, but the weakness in the market was just too much. We ended up bouncing back a little bit and recouping like half the losses later in the day in the S&P and the overall markets. But early in the morning, the market was extremely weak. And I got shaken out of two of my longs, and both of those stocks ended up kind of turning around and making moves later in the day back up towards highs after the market kind of sustained itself and started to bounce back. So it was a little bit of an unfortunate day. What I'm going to talk to you guys about this video is a couple of things. One is kind of understanding the correlation between like weakness or strength in the overall market and how that relates to mid caps, large caps, and small caps, because all three are not affected the same. All right. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, but then I'm also going to talk to you about my take profit strategy, because even though both my longs and CGC and PETQ ended up failing, ended up taking losses on the trade, the losses were a lot smaller than they could have been because I had already sold 25% of my position on both stocks for a profit. So I made a profit on 25% of my position, took a loss on 75% of my position. So the loss could have been greater. Instead of me losing on full position size, I'm only losing on 75%. And, you know, that kind of stuff adds up, and it adds up, and it's a good way to kind of protect your P&L. It's a risk management strategy that I teach all of our members in True Trading Group. So I'm going to go over that. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that today. Now, first, let's get to the S&P. I want to show you the weakness in the S&P that I'm referring to. Okay, here we are, guys. We had this big gap down, and then the market just collapsed right off the opening bell. No real bounce attempt. The market just straight down 300 points. Early in the morning. Then you can see we kind of bounce back and recoup some of those gains. But this weakness in the morning is what hurt me long CGC and PETQ. I'm going to start things off. We'll go over CGC. Okay. CGC, I like this big catalyst here today. I thought we were going to have a chance of some continuation. This stock reminds me very much like TPR yesterday. Okay, I made a real nice trade in TPR. If you haven't seen my video I posted yesterday, go back and take a look at that TPR trade. But this setup is almost identical. Okay, the quick gap up in the morning, we then pull all the way back down to test that initial morning low. We then bounce up, and then you can see VWAP starts to hold support. Okay, once I saw VWAP start to hold support like this, that is when I jumped in long CGC right here on this candle at 32.05. Okay, I'll take it to my trade announcements. Here we are, 9:43 a.m. long CGC 32.05. Stop loss 31.40 area. Okay, 32.05. So now as I take you guys back to the chart, I got long here, and the stock starts to climb its way higher and pushes up to test the initial morning high. There's your initial morning high. I usually like to take some profit off in front of the high of the day like that, guys, in case the high does not break and we double top and roll over. I took some profit right there, guys, in front of the high of the day. I'll take you back to my trade announcements. Took some profit, CGC, 32.82, still holding some. That take profit in front of the high, I sold 25% of my position, and that really saved me. Because you can see, you know, at 10.05, I sold out the remaining CGC position at 31.40, and I took a loss on the rest of that trade. Long from 32.05, took some off at 32.82, sold the rest at 31.40. So I took a loss on the trade. Okay, I stopped out right there. All right, that is on this candle is where I stopped out of this position. You can see CGC just kind of rolled itself over, and the weakness in the overall market held this thing back. What I was looking for was for VWAP to continue to hold support. The trade line was catching up. I was looking for a trade line VWAP crossover to send the stock up into the 34, 35 range. Okay, but you can see the stock broke below VWAP before the trade line could catch up. And it's not a coincidence, guys, that the low of the day in CGC was put in right around 10:50 in the morning. And then when I look at the S&P, the low of the day was put in at 10:57 in the morning. Okay, so the weakness in the overall market, I really feel, kind of held back this CGC trade early in the morning and got me stopped out and shook me out of the trade. And then you can see here, after we put in that bottom, okay, we ended up rallying back and climbing back up to retest the high of the day later in the afternoon around 2:30. Okay, this stock may continue now higher tomorrow. So it's unfortunate that I got stopped out. I got shaken out of that trade, and then the stock ended up pulling back higher. That's kind of what today was all about. Today was kind of all about me getting stopped out of my longs or getting shaken out of my longs early on, and then, you know, these plays kind of continuing higher. Now, before I get into PETQ, I'll take a minute just to talk to you about small caps did actually pretty good today. PTIE and TIS had great days. Okay, PTIE, huge move in the morning. Okay, from $1.30 all the way up to $2.30. Okay, huge move on PTIE. TIS, big move. Okay, from $2 up to $2.80. Okay, big move in these small cap stocks. And a couple of people were talking about in chat when we were talking about this PTIE trade. Okay, this PTIE trade looked really good here. You had a trade line VWAP crossover. You had support at VWAP. You also had Fibonacci levels that lined up right at that area. This was a nice looking setup. A lot of members in chat today caught PTIE. One of our other moderators, our pro traders in chat, Alex, he caught PTIE along with a bunch of other members. It was a great trade. And I was talking about PTIE in chat because a couple of people were asking me about it, what my thoughts are, and they were concerned with the market continuing lower. Small caps are not as affected by overall strength and overall weakness in the general markets. Okay? And it's important that you guys understand that. Large caps especially are affected probably the most, then mids, and then small caps probably the least. And the reason for that, guys, is when the market is excessively weak or excessively strong, you just get blanket buying or blanket selling across multiple sectors, or sometimes even the broad market in general. Okay, and large institutions have, you know, algorithmic programs that will sell positions as there's weakness in the market. Well, they'll buy more as there's strength in the market. So sometimes you get overall, you know, buying pressure or selling pressure in a specific stock that you're in. Even though the chart may look a certain way or a certain pattern may be there, if the overall market is excessively weak or excessively strong, it can, you know, kind of disregard the setup that you're looking at. And it's for that reason. Okay, but it has a lot to do with institutional investors and institutional trading and bankers and, you know, not retail traders. Okay, the reason why a stock like PTIE, a $1.30 stock, okay, a low volume stock, is not as affected is because it's retail traders. Okay, PTIE did not go from $1.30 to $2.30 because Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Warren Buffett, you know, Bill Ackman, George Soros, and all of these guys were buying PTIE today. Okay, that's not why PTIE went from $1.30 to $2.30. Okay, but that is the reason why Amazon has gone from 1,000 to 1,900. Okay, so it's important that you guys understand that. And it's oftentimes you'll see when the market's overall weak, sometimes traders flock to small caps, okay, because they're looking for opportunity and they're looking for stocks that they can move. And that's why you saw, I think, great days in PTIE and TIS compared to my mid-cap trades, which really had trouble today. They had trouble kind of getting their footing and they had trouble getting continuation. And mid-caps have been trading phenomenal. But I think the market was just was too weak. It was excessively weak. And then I think that saw a lot of selling pressure come into a lot of different names and a lot of different sectors. And that has a lot to do with that. Okay, so that's just kind of what I want to talk to you and kind of touch base with you guys on about that. Now let's get to my PETQ trade. Okay, so here we go. Well, first let's go to a daily chart. I'll show you the daily chart. Here we go, guys. Okay, you can see this resistance level, all-time high. Our earnings beat and we gapped above all-time highs. Okay, so you guys know that my strategy trading these mid caps has been long mid caps that gap above key resistance levels on earnings beats, long them early and ride them out for the first hour and a half to 2 hours in the day. They've been giving you a great follow through. So we gapped up, we open up, PETQ puts in the initial morning low, pulls back in and tests that initial morning low, holds it beautifully, and then pushes back above VWAP. As soon as it pushed back above VWAP, guys, right here is where I got long. Okay, I got long PETQ right in there. Taking to my trade announcement at 33.62. I was long PETQ at 9:38 in the morning. Okay, 33.62. All right. Very quickly, as soon as I got long, guys, this thing just shot right through the high of the day, right up to $35, and I immediately took some profit off the table. Okay, back to my trade announcements. You can see took some profit. PETQ 34.70, still holding some. So $1.08 a share profit on 25% of my position. That really helped. Okay, on this PETQ, because you guys can see later on in the day at 10:08, I sold out the remaining PETQ at 33.30. Okay, so I sold out PETQ, the rest of my position at 33.30, taking a 32 cent per share loss, but I just made $1.08 share gain on 25% of my position. Okay, and I lost 32 cents a share on 75% of my position. So that really helps, guys, when a trade ends up failing. I usually will take some profit off once a stock gives me that first move. Okay, when you get that first move and the stock breaks at the high of the day, I usually sell some of my position in case that breakout fails. And in this situation, I just got shaken out of this trade. Okay, so there's my entry. That was my first take profit. And then you can see VWAP started holding support beautifully. Okay, so what I was looking to have happen was the trade line was catching up. VWAP was holding support. I thought a trade line VWAP crossover would send PETQ soaring up to 36, 36.50, and I would have nailed a home run trade. Okay, but again, this is the time when the market was showing excessive weakness. The market was just rolling over, new low, new low, new low. And you can see that pulled PETQ back down, stopped it from breaking out, and I got stopped out of this position right there. Okay, we broke below VWAP, we broke below the trade line, and I got stopped out of PETQ right here, taking my trade announcements. Here we are, sold out remaining PETQ at 33.30. Okay, very, very unfortunate that I got shaken out of that trade, guys, because as you can see, the stock ended up rallying back, breaking through the high of the day and pushing itself up all the way to 36. Okay, so could have been a really nice trade. I just got shaken out. Okay, I got shaken out because of the overall weakness in the market. It just held back my longs early in the morning, and that's how I finished. That's how I finished the day red. Okay, but it's not a big red day by any means, guys, and it's because of this taking profit strategy of either take some off in front of the high of the day or take some off as soon as the stock breaks through the high of the day and you get that first move, take some off, lock in some profit, and reduce your risk. And that saved me today. Okay, that really helped my P&L today big time. All right, so that's it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I think the market's going to try to bounce back tomorrow. I think the weakness that was seen early in the morning was kind of more technical weakness than it was fundamental weakness. I do expect the market to kind of bounce back a little bit. So I think we're going to have a green day tomorrow, and I do expect better action in the mid cap. So my strategy is not changing. Guys, I still do think the mid caps and my mid cap strategy is still well in full effect. I've been really crushing mid caps over the last month. And I don't see anything that's going to make me change that. As of now, they're still trading phenomenal. I think it was just overall market weakness that held back my longs today. All right, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll see you guys in chat. Take care.